What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Deep CP, and I'm back again with another video. Once again, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite recent toy lines, Hot Wheels RacerVerse. But here's the twist. We're making our own RacerVerse cars that doesn't actually exist. So if you guys have any concepts for your own RacerVerse cars, let me know in the comments down below. For those of you that do not know, Hot Wheels RacerVerse is a line of die-cast cars released by Hot Wheels and Mattel that feature pop culture characters inside die-cast vehicles. Have something to do with them. I got two vehicles here. I got Bugs Bunny and I got Donald Duck, which is one of our recent Hot Wheels cars. That's the basic concept, and we've done a couple of videos featuring Hot Wheels RacerVerse on this channel. It's like an actual NASCAR race. We got all these different camera angles and everything. So if you guys want to go check that out, I'm going to pop a link in the description to both of those down below, as well as an entire playlist to all of our toy reviews. So guys, basically the idea today, I have compiled a list I think would really do well in this toy line. I did use AI to make this because I do not have the computer skills to do all that. If you guys want to go and make your own, go have fun. I did all this for free on ChatGPT and Copilot. Just keep in mind, now I had a hard time making some of these because of copyright. Without further ado, get into my list of my dream RacerVerse cars that need to be made. Okay, so first up on our list is automatically going to be a gag character. We have Barney the Dinosaur. Barney the Dinosaur is already owned by Mattel, so they don't have to pay a licensing fee for the character. We're already releasing a new line of Barney toys on the market today. Barney the Dinosaur is a nostalgic IP. This line in particular is geared towards kids. Had Barney have a Porsche 911 convertible. I thought if Barney had a car, it would be something that he could feel the outside as he's going down the road. Barney's a freestyle guy, so why not give him a convertible? I went with Porsche because Porsche looks really nice. It kind of has the curves and stuff like Barney. Purple color scheme for obvious reasons. A rainbow on the side because Barney's all about all the colors in the world. Barney the Dinosaur, despite how goofy of a character, could really work in a Hot Wheels RacerVerse style. Okay, next is Stuart Little. Could capitalize on the nostalgia for the character. It's a character, oversized, in a small vehicle. Got an actual concept art picture, actual 3D picture of Stuart, which looks a little bit closer to the movie model. Stuart Little in his Roadster, and I also gave him a blue long sleeve t-shirt, as well as the Roadster's color scheme. I think if they added some fur texture to it, this one could look really nice. It would sell really well. And even with kids today, I think it might do well. Come on, Mattel, if you're watching this, I think Stuart Little would make it fun. Okay. Here's our next one. Ghostbusters and the Ecto-1. This one, I'm shocked, actually hasn't been made. You're kidding. Some RacerVerse cars are either waving or making a gesture. I think you could have Peter Venkman or one of the Ghostbusters in the Ecto-1 and have their proton wand out. That would be a lot of fun. You could even put some transparent slime on the vehicle and just make it look all Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters Ecto-1 could be so much fun for Hot Wheels and RacerVerse. Hey guys, sticking to New York, we're going to go with our next franchise, Men in Black. I am obsessed with Men in Black. I've actually got a video coming out next week talking about my entire Men in Black collection. First of all, I think Men in Black could work. Late 80s, early 90s IP, easily capitalize off of that. You got that nostalgia factor that people would buy this product. You could just release this as a 3-pack. You don't have to go and do all the movies villains. If you wanted to do Frank the Pug or something, that could work. But I think sticking with the main two agents and Edgar would work well. I didn't do two different vehicles for the agents because I was basing it off the first film. So let's start out with Agent J. Stuck with it being a 3D product model shot. You have Agent J with the sunglasses on and the neuralizer in his hand. The next shot, same pose for Agent K, but it's a 2D concept art photo for Tommy Lee Jones. Edgar, it didn't come out exactly like I hoped. He come out more like a zombie. He doesn't actually have a nose. Put Edgar in the Zapp'em van. Because all these cars are so wacky, you could easily have him poking out of the roof. You have the back part of the truck ripped all to pieces to fit that little flying saucer. This could work great in a RacerVerse line. Our next candidate, I am super excited to talk about. I went to cons as Jack Sparrow. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Put him in the Black Pearl and made it as if it was a car. They did something similar to their Disney line with Captain Hook. They gave Captain Hook this almost pirate ship car hybrid, and I think that could work well for Jack. I kept the ship black, just like the film. Even put the lanterns on the back. There was some gold accents to kind of make it pop a little bit with all that black there. I tried to keep the actual front of the ship as accurate to the film as I could, as well as Jack Sparrow. I had to kind of make it look a little bit less like Johnny Depp, but that's okay. I don't know if Disney owns Jack now or if Johnny Depp does. I've heard rumors that Johnny Depp got the rights to the character. If somebody actually knows the deets, let me know down below. This character I absolutely love is Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones doesn't typically have the specific vehicle that he ever takes on adventures. Thought that what better vehicle to put him in other than a World War II Jeep, which is an off-road vehicle and would work great for his adventures. And he's always out in the jungle, so I put mud and vines all over the vehicle, and also gave him an idol to put in the very back. Himself, I modeled it obviously after his first appearance from Raiders of the Lost Ark as a signature whip. Lucasfilm for Star Wars. I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to get the license for him. Okay, we're going to be doing some spooky season stuff. The first time I watched this, we were at my mom's friend's house, and Cam, if you're watching this, I hope you're doing okay. And we watched Hocus Pocus. Obviously, the Sanderson sisters didn't have vehicles. Have fun with it. What I did to loop around this, I gave them a transparent base underneath them so that it kind of looked like they were flying. For Winnie and Sarah, I had to give them brooms. For Winifred, I gave her that iconic spell book. Sarah, she's singing while she's on the broomstick. For Mary, of course, she's got a big goofy grin and she's on that vacuum cleaner. I don't know how they would actually pull this off. For starters, they'd have to get the license from Disney, and then on top of that, they don't really have cars, but I just thought it'd be kind of fun. Okay, keeping with spooky season, we have Wednesday Addams in a 1938 Pontiac lineup. This is an iconic vehicle. The Addams family doesn't have a consistent vehicle, but I went with Classic Wednesday Addams. Classic Wednesday is based off of the cartoons created by Charles Addams many years ago. So you could stick with the original look for the Addams Family vehicle as well as the character. For Wednesday's vehicle, I gave it some purple accents. She's got her arms all crossed and stuff. I've even got her hair flowing back in the wind. I tried to tell the AI that I wanted a severed hand on the steering wheel to represent Thing, and he was actually driving the car and Wednesday was just in the driver's seat. Obviously, you're not going to have Lurch driving because there's not more than one character per vehicle. Not to mention, Mattel already has, I think, the rights to the Jenna Ortega version of the character, considering they have made Monster High dolls. That would go great around the spooky fall season area. Definitely be a fun concept for RacerVerse. Okay, speaking of collectibles, this one is based on a very mature rated television show, Breaking Bad. I think Walter White and Jesse Pinkman would be such a fun set. You could have these two in a dual pack together of Jesse, his El Camino, and Walter White and that beat up junked RV. I even had it say on the side of the RV in blue spray paint, Blue Sky. I think these would do great. You've already done a partnership with the company that owns Breaking Bad for the collectible line for little people. I don't think it would do well if you pushed it into like a Walmart, but I definitely think it would do well as an exclusive item for a limited time. Okay, speaking of Mattel, they've had the WWE license for well over a decade now. Make a WWE RacerVerse vehicle. I think that they would probably go with John Cena or a superstar that's popular now, like Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. Wanted to bank on the nostalgia factor is a DX Days Triple H. I've been collecting Triple H my whole life. He's my favorite one. So I put Triple H in a lifted up Ford F-150 pickup truck. Made the vehicle black to go with his DX Days color scheme, as well as even put I Am the Game on the side. I gave him a Jolly Roger style skull and sledgehammer picture. Put a skull on the front as well as the Triple H logo on the very top of the hood. Long hairstyle from back in the 90s and early 2000s. And the most unique part of this vehicle is I made the bed of the truck a wrestling ring. You've got two different demographics you could sell to. You could sell to WWE collectors and die-cast car collectors. I don't know why you're sleeping on this. Sticking with sort of reality TV. And just made a car for an actual reality TV star that is still popular today, and that's Gordon Ramsay. He isn't just a reality TV star, though. He has several Michelin stars. He's a well-known world-class chef, and he has that pop culture flair. Play with that idea. He's a chef. What would he drive? A food truck. Just Gordon Ramsay written on the side there. He's screaming at somebody, probably got road rage. Gordon Ramsay's got a big enough name. I think you could definitely sell this. You could do like a Gordon Ramsay cookbook for kids with simple recipes. That little car as an accessory. Such a fun idea and concept. I think it definitely worked well. Another real life person, just like Gordon Ramsay, I think could do well is William Byron. NASCAR is not as popular as it used to. I think they need something to really push to kids of this generation. I just picked William Byron because he's my favorite driver. I think that you could do any driver for that matter. I've actually met Byron in person. I'll link that video down below. He's a really nice gentleman. If he was to partner with Mattel and Hot Wheels, you get a whole nother demographic. But they're already doing official diecast cars for NASCAR with a different company. But for a few drivers to get a single set, I think could work well. So for Byron, I put him in a Chevrolet Camaro Z01. Got him in his X-Alta vehicle with the number 24. I've even got the flame effect on it. If they really want to start reaching kids, maybe even having Mattel and Hot Wheels as a brand sponsor on the track could really help push this. NASCAR could be a fun and awesome toy line or RacerVerse. Sticking with stunt drivers, Kick Buttowski's Suburban Daredevil. I think if you took Kick Buttowski and you put him into this, you could do many different ideas, but the one I kept coming back to, just put him in a grocery cart. He was like an 8 to 10-year-old kid in a suburban neighborhood. He's not going to have an actual vehicle. I think it would be more fun if you just did a simple shopping cart and added some wooden wings to the side. Kick Buttowski in a rock and roll pose, as if he's mid-stunt. You're going to get people around my age interested in buying this for nostalgia, and you can market to kids with this because it's a kids franchise. But to do a whole Kick Buttowski track, it's like an answer to Tech Deck in Hot Wheels. How fun of a concept is that? All right, speaking of cartoons, we have our next candidate for a car, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. I think if there was actually going to be another Nicktoon get a car, it would be Timmy Turner. And the reason I think Jimmy could work well, you already have a 3D character. You don't have to go and work to turn Butch Hartman's art style into a 3D concept. You already have a sculpt and slap him inside of his rocket ship from in the show. For Jimmy, I broke the rule of the two characters in one car. Plankton featured Karen, his computer wife. I think that if you're going to do Jimmy Neutron, you got to incorporate Goddard somehow. His head's popping up out of the back like I have on the rocket here. Bright blue paint job with the red accents. I gave it some flames. Have the wheels, that classic Hot Wheels, but transparent. Just have Jimmy waving to everybody. It's a nostalgic character that I think could work really well in this style. They should definitely consider this. Sticking with Nicktoons, since I've already made a custom Danny Phantom action figure, which I'll link that in the description down below. I put him in the Fenton family assault vehicle. It didn't understand the concept that it had like treads, like a tank, but that's okay. Got Danny inside the vehicle popping out. Got green accents all over the vehicle, and it's got that nice gray color, otherworldly, ghostly vibes with all the bright green everywhere. And Danny looks pretty good in 3D. There's been a few different versions of Danny Phantom made in 3D. This brand new Funko Minis Danny Phantom. This character, along with any Butch Hartman character, can work in 3D. I think Danny Phantom has a very dedicated fan base. Should definitely give Danny Phantom a chance he deserves. Okay guys, next we have another cartoon icon. What better cartoon franchise that is so iconic than The Simpsons? I love The Simpsons. Jakks Pacific just got the license for The Simpsons a couple years ago, and they have been pumping these guys out like crazy. We have gotten a Hot Wheels Simpsons car before. I'm sitting there thinking, like, if I was going to do a Simpsons car, I gotta have Homer driving it, but what am I going to pick? Why not their classic family vehicle? Classic pink 1986 Plymouth Jukerola. It is such an iconic vehicle. There's already merchandise being sold with these characters today that is doing incredibly well for a competitor, and I think it would be something stupid to not at least consider potential for a Hot Wheels RacerVerse for The Simpsons. Okay, I gotta do this one. Since we're talking about classic cartoon patriarchs, Fred Flintstone. I have loved the Flintstones since I was a small kid. I lived on Boomerang. And I think that since we've already gotten a Hanna-Barbera franchise with Scooby-Doo, I think you could easily do a Hanna-Barbera pack, maybe Scooby and a couple of other characters. Fred Flintstone in that classic Flintmobile. He's got that blue tie, orange outfit. I think Fred with that driver road rage is such a fun idea. Fred Flintstone was always angry about something going on in his life, whether it was at his wife, at his job, at his friends. Trying to beat everybody down that track is such a fun and in-character concept for him. Okay, speaking of animated franchises set in prehistoric time, Ice Age. I love Ice Age. I freaked out when I found out they're going to make another one. If you wanted to do Ice Age, it's the perfect time to start development. Is that new movie coming out? Number one, it's a nostalgic property. Collectors would buy it. Number two, it's a recent film. Kids love the trends. Number three, they're animals. You could re-release these models with a different paint job. It's versatile. Let's start with Manny. I put Manny on an iceberg. I even gave the vehicle transparent wheels to fit with that color scheme. But I chose an iceberg specifically because one of my favorite scenes is sliding down that ice. So we got Diego. Personally, my favorite character. Put him on a rock. I wasn't sure exactly what to do with Diego. Lastly, we have Sid. Sid, I decided to put him on a log. A little bit more panicked. One's a little bit more cheerful, which fits his character either way. I think that you could definitely push this in a market, and if you wait a couple of years for the movie to drop, you could do it as a promo for the film and to boost toy sales. Alright, so speaking of talking animals, Kung Fu Panda. Love Kung Fu Panda. I don't understand why we got Trolls or we got Shrek or Kung Fu Panda or any of the heavy hitters that Dreamworks has to offer. So for my concept, Poe loves to eat. So I had him in a noodle cart with vegetables in the back. It says Mr. Pings as a reference to his dad. And it also has a dragon down there at the bottom as a reference to the Dragon Warrior. I had fireworks strapped onto the back of the cart. That way it looks like he lit them on fire and it's propelling him forward. It's got Poe so happy to be there with a big smile on his face. There has been a Poe Hot Wheels character car that has been made before. So if you wanted to make this mass-produced or Universal Studios exclusive, definitely a thing to think about. We have another Dreamworks franchise, Megamind. Megamind is such a fun idea. You have a supervillain that got bored because he actually beat the superhero. I kind of got the idea to do Megamind because of Austin the Brimstone and his recent video talking about all the Megamind merchandise. He thought about what would Megamind do if he was in this line. Oh my gosh, base it off the invisible jet that they already made for Wonder Woman. Just make it shaped like the invisible car. Just have Megamind's torso disappear. You could save money on plastic that way. And you cover up the illusion that he's disappearing into the car. Mine would be a fun franchise to do. It would work well for collectors. You did like a set of Dreamworks characters. But if you were going to do Dreamworks franchises, I do think that Kung Fu Panda and Megamind would be fun to try. Speaking of supervillains that have a change of heart, next we have Despicable Me. Drew in his car, I spent 2.5 to 3 hours. I had to work around copyright. I had to Photoshop some of it myself, very crudely. And I had to send this into the AI and I had to argue with it. I think it turned out extremely well for what it is. You've already done character cars for Minions. I think you could have Gru in this vehicle, instantly recognizable on a toy shelf. Maybe have the Minions on the packaging. Despicable Me is already a big franchise with kids and collectors. I don't even see why this isn't on shelves yet. If Mattel and Hot Wheels is watching this, I definitely think Despicable Me would be a very easy sell. Okay, we have a recent animated film entering this category, K-Pop Demon Hunters. One day I'm sitting here talking to my fiance and she won't shut up about wanting to watch this movie. I go to work, my coworkers are talking about it. I go on YouTube, YouTube's talking about it, and I'm like, fine, I will watch K-Pop Demon Hunters. I love this film. It's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Powerpuff Girls, and a classic Disney musical mixed into one. Loved all three of the protagonists, so I did 3 cars. So for Rumi, I gave her a Nissan Silvia S14 Drifter. I gave her her look from the very beginning of the movie. Then like a determined, serious, I'm here to lead. As the same color scheme, I had that purple look that's similar to her dragon braid. So she's got some pink and some yellow and some white and purple. The Huntrix logo. So for Zoe, I gave her a Suzuki compact hatchback car. She's just having fun being there. I got her with a thumbs up. She's all happy. Zoe, I gave a lotus flower. She has a lotus flower on her outfit, and I wanted to incorporate that into the car. Give it some blue accents, a little bit of purple, some pink and yellow. For Mira, I gave her a Mazda MX-5 inspired roadster. She's kind of the feisty one. She's determined to get where she needs to go, and she doesn't care who she's got to run over to get there. So I gave her a jet black car, some fire accents to it. That's in the same pink color as her hair. I gave it some yellow / gold colors. I wanted them to be Asian sports cars that they would buy on the market in Korea. I definitely think that if they make a sequel to this film, like they say they're going to, you could work on this concept now and release this by the time the second film comes out. Next up, this IP is in the Marvel Pantheon. The character is Ghost Rider. You have had Ghost Rider action figures. You had Hot Wheels released to this day with this IP. There's been chibi versions of this character, sort of fit the style of RacerVerse with Superhero Squad. So Ghost Rider already has appeal in this target demographic. You're hitting the adult collectors with it, kind of being a little bit mature of a character, but with enough toyetic aspect to it to appeal to kids to want to buy it to play with. I obviously put him in his black leather outfit on his classic motorcycle. Put him in a black outfit, or you could put him in his comic accurate outfit. Go for that classic Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Transparent flames on the head and towards the back of the motorcycle. How is it going to balance? That's the only thing I would worry about if you're trying to make a motorcycle character in this style. Make the tires a little bigger to work around that. I think it would work well for sales, collectors, and kids alike. I think one of the reasons I love RacerVerse so much is because I grew up in car culture. My grandfather owns a mechanic shop. I worked in that mechanic shop growing up, still do sometimes today. I love Ratfink. He is a oversized character in a small vehicle. I think Ratfink was RacerVerse before RacerVerse. Has so much appeal. Adult collectors, and you could push to kids for gross out toys. For Ratfink's vehicle of choice, I put him in a classic Rat Rod style vehicle. I put him in a 1932 Ford Coupe. You could do a Ratfink playset like a junkyard or something. You drive this down the track, there's a whole pile of, like, say, sludge. You could do a gross out toy mixed with Hot Wheels. There has been companies make Ratfink on their cars or die-cast cars in the past. I think would be a fun IP that would not be extremely expensive for Mattel and Hot Wheels to get their hands on. That could definitely be a mass market push for toys. Okay, sticking out with another random IP. We all know I'm a huge fan of the Tennessee Smokies baseball. I played baseball when I was younger, and it means a lot to me. I went with the Tennessee Smokies mascot, Knox, and I put him in a first-gen Chevrolet Camaran. Smokies logo on front there, Smokies there on the side. Wheels have got a baseball color scheme. Gave him a Smokies cap, gave him a baseball bat. I know this would never get made, but I think it would be fun to sell this at the stadium. Okay, another animal adjacent character. I got the Cat in the Hat. I tried to make the vehicle as Seussian as I could. That's all sorts of wacky proportions. I chose to make the vehicle around the same time period that Dr. Seuss would have been working on most of his books. I chose to make it a 1950s Chevrolet Corvette Roadster. This vehicle already had paint jobs, sort of aesthetic to the colors that would have been on the Cat in the Hat. It had the reds, the whites. The cat's smiling. He's got his umbrella. Happy to be there. The Cat in the Hat movie comes out next year. Definitely wouldn't have enough time to get this made before the movie releases, but Dr. Seuss designed the vehicles in his world so outlandish. I think that it would be a fun IP in the pantheon of RacerVerse. Now this one is definitely random. We got Kool-Aid Man. General Mills has released merchandise for Kool-Aid Man in toy form for decades now. I think that a smart move for Kool-Aid and for Mattel and RacerVerse will be to partner up, and if Kool-Aid makes a new flavor, you could do a short limited promotion with a Kool-Aid Man RacerVerse car. For the vehicle, I chose 1974 Ford Mustang. It's the same year that Kool-Aid Man was created and debuted to the public. Chose to make it a solid red color, just like classic Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid Man, I made a clear plastic to make it look like the jar. I've got that liquid pouring out, gave it a brick or a cracked paint job, make it look like he's bursting through the walls. And I also put Oh Yeah on the hood, as well as Kool-Aid on the side. I think this character would be a lot of fun. And we have reached the last IP. You guys have made it this far. I cannot thank you enough. It's Poppy Playtime. Love this series. It already has mass market appeal. Fat Mojo has proven that with the toy line. M.I.B Games themselves have proven it with their merchandise sales on their website. So I think if you based it more on Playtime Co. Express and place Huggy Wuggy inside, the face of the franchise, I tried to keep with the color scheme of the original design of the train in the game. Put Huggy in a driving pose like he's controlling the train. I think that would sell really well with kids and collectors. You have game collectors like myself or people that really just like one particular character. Poppy Playtime is a huge game series. I think this is one of those series that could definitely surprise you. And this one's a bonus. This is just a RacerVerse vehicle of myself. I chose to go with my first car I ever got, which was a 2001 Ford Taurus. I love that little car, and because I got an ocean themed name, I put some wave paint jobs on the side. Okay guys, that has been my dream RacerVerse car concepts. Guys, I think that these all have potential. If you guys love RacerVerse or you love Hot Wheels, let me know in the comments down below what your dream Hot Wheels RacerVerse cars are. And if you guys haven't seen the original RacerVerse videos that me and my fiance did, I will post a link in the description down below so you guys can go check them out there. And go check out the whole playlist I've done of all of my toy reviews. And next week, stay tuned for an awesome Men in Black video. Be sure to surf for that subscribe button, wave it for notifications, and stay tuned for more buried treasure. That's it for today, guys. Deep Sea Pete out. Catch you on the coast side. Woo!